Well, Brendon, you're not too puffed, having walked up all those steps to get up here, as well as blowing into the bagpipes for that concert?
Sure. Well, it was only a minute out there. It was probably longer getting up the stairs.
Yeah, it probably was, actually. It sounded fantastic to me. You were happy with how it went?
Yeah, very happy. Yeah, it was a bit of a buzz, really, to play with the orchestra. So,
yeah.
So to get through clean was good. Yeah.
You've not worked with an orchestra before?
Once a long time ago, a youth pipe band in 1990 worked with a piece commissioned by Philip Norman called Ballad of Settler McGee, and I played with a pipe band with the orchestra, but never solo.
Never solo, yeah. I gather there were a few issues with the tuning of the bagpipes. They're usually tuned quite a lot sharper than the orchestra tuning. So how did you get around that?
Yeah, that was a pretty major hurdle to overcome. Over a semitone up, so had some help with some friends. Graham Bryce in Christchurch sent me a lower pitched chanter, and another friend in Christchurch, Greg Wilson, one of my mentors and one of New Zealand's finest solo pipers. He makes reeds, and he sent me a slightly longer reed to fit. So with that combination, managed to get down pretty close, and then a lot of tape on the holes to bring the pitch down of individual notes as well.
And how does it affect you though when you're used to producing certain notes and you're doing the fingering and it's coming out as different notes?
Sure. So the fingering is okay. It's harder to tune the individual notes with my ear, which I'd normally do, just because I'm not used to that pitch. And probably playing your pipes the way they're set up, it puts a bit more pressure on the instrument. The reeds are right out at the very ends of the reed seats, and so there's kind of risk of them falling out, and I guess that was my biggest fear this evening, really, is that one of them had done that between the dressing room and the stage.
Yeah, well, thank goodness it didn't do that. So otherwise you'd have been participating in the sort of quasi-drunkenness on stage as well.
Yes, and that wouldn't have been a good look.
Probably not, no. When did you get into the bagpipes first?
I started playing when I was 10. It was taught by Jim Wilson in Hamilton, and progressed through up until about the age of 17, 18. Put them down when I went to university, but picked them up again my last years of med school when I went across to Scotland to do my medical elective.
And your wife plays the pipes as well, I gather?
Yes, Meliana I met through piping, and she's currently running the Hamilton pipe band, Hamilton Caledonian pipe band. Yeah, she's in charge of it.
I gather you can't live in a city apartment, or if you do, you've got very tolerant neighbours and a lot of insulation.
Yeah, fair enough. We are out in the country a little bit out of town. Yeah, with double glazing.
Yeah, it would help. Yeah. Obviously no close neighbours. They haven't come to you with pitchforks and lighted torches.
No, and in fact, when I have played in other environments, I'm always apprehensive about that. But mostly people say they're in here enough, so that's very nice of them.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What do you think of the pipe band scene in New Zealand? Do you find that there are lots of young people coming through, or does it need a bit more energising, perhaps?
No, I think thanks to the RNZ PBA, which is our national organisation, the youth movement is strong in New Zealand pipe bands. We have a foundation youth pipe band. We have a number of other youth bands, and I myself teach half a dozen young folk, and we've actually set up a juvenile band in Hamilton, which has about a dozen young pipers and several young drummers as well. So.
That's great. Well, there's quite often with pipe bands you'd be playing with other pipers and the drummers, fifes as well occasionally. The sort of flute.
Oh, thanks. No, not in the pipe band competition.
Okay.
Set up. No fife.
It's interesting. It was interesting hearing you with the orchestra, because I thought to myself, why on earth are composers not writing more for pipes with orchestra? Because it just sounded such a fantastic sound. I thought, especially the melding of that reedy sound, strong sound of the pipes with the lush sound of the strings. I thought it was just a real nice sound.
Real privilege to play along with that sound, actually, and as you say, never get an opportunity to do that, and it really adds a lot of warmth and harmonic that you wouldn't otherwise hear. So maybe they've been put off by the the gap in the pitch, but that can be overcome if composers would simply write in B flat. It'd be a lot easier to get a lot closer.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully, maybe there may be some composers who've been in the audience tonight or listening to this on the radio who might be inspired to write a piece for pipes and orchestra or even other classical instruments.
Yeah, fabulous.
Well, Brendon, this concert I know is going to be broadcast about 6 or 7 days after the fact, but what's your take on the score? Who's going to win?
I think it would be unpatriotic of me to suggest for a second that the ABs would not get up over the lines, and I'm hoping for that event to happen like that tomorrow.
What kind of margin?
Oh, I think a good 12 point buffer at least. I think tomorrow.
Right. Well, we're on the record. We'll see what has happened when this gets broadcast.
Thanks very much.
Brendon, thank you.
Cheers.